invocation this morning. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day, and we're always grateful for an opportunity to serve you and our communities here. We pray, Father, for your guidance and your blessings on all that we do. We want to be good stewards over our county's business and be a blessing to each resident here. Father, be with those who are sick and hurting, those families who may have lost loved ones. We just ask you to minister to them today and bring them your peace. We do pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Join me in the pledge to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Let me see. First thing this morning, we have a proclamation declaring April the 30th through May the 7th as Soil and Water Stewardship Week in Harrison County. Let me read that proclamation to you. It says, whereas healthy soil and clean water is a benefit to everyone, and whereas effective conservation practices provide the soil, water, animals, plants, and air that can ensure a rich standard of living, and whereas our security depends upon the robust management of natural resources, and whereas stewardship calls for each person to help conserve these precious resources, therefore I do hereby proclaim April 30th to May the 7th, 2023 as Soil and Water Stewardship Week. So we're happy to do that today, and I know you guys are here this morning for our local board, and we'd be happy to take a picture with you, get with you if you'd like to. You guys want to step down in front?
Can you see me?
Yes.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all coming this morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
See you next trip. You bet. Thank you.
Do we have any public announcements? I just want to remind you guys, our early voting is going on. If you haven't been to vote, now's the time to do it before the line gets long. It's easy. We do have a quorum present today. Present voting today is Precinct 1, Commissioner Hatfield, Precinct 2, Commissioner Timmons, Sims presiding, and Precinct 3, Commissioner Malden was unable to make it today. We do have Commissioner E. Barb in Precinct 4. It is 9:04 a.m. We'll call our Commissioners Court to order. This is the regular meeting of the Harrison County Commissioners Court here in the historic courthouse on April the 25th, 2023. First up is from our auditor. This is consideration and approval regarding line item transfers.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. You should have a copy of the line item transfers request. I am requesting transferring $2,400 between line items within the county.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Our next item is consideration approval of payment of regular bills.
I'm requesting payment for $514,843.65.
Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebar. You guys have had a chance to review these. Any questions on our
Hey,
regular
so I
bills?
noticed on this month, we have about $25,000 worth of blanket autopsy fees. Is that, do they hold those till they get more than just a couple, or is that for a month? Or is that strictly for that month that this pay?
That's whenever the JP submit the
Okay, so they come to
invoices.
them and then submit to you. So it could be more than,
Yes, it could be more
30
than one
days or
time,
something,
than 1 month, yes, sir.
Any other questions? Not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 4-0. Item number 3 is consideration and approval of payroll for April 14th, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Appreciate it.
Next up, from our Road and Bridge Department. We didn't put a spot there for you to give an update. You want to tell us how things are going?
Okay, yeah, we're still on standby to move in our new building. They are fixing those few spots that they had, and with some good luck, we should be moving in it next week. So it's a good thing that we are moving before we get busy with our construction.
Yeah.
So, and we'll work on the parking lot off and on in the summer as we have, little spare time on rainy days and stuff like that till we get it in place. And we did receive our new Mack and cab and chassis truck for the bridge crew, covert crew, and it came in at $24,000 more than what we were quoted during budget time. But everything is that way these days, the prices go up, week by week. So it's hard to really have a set amount on something until you receive it.
You're able to manage that into your budget? You're okay?
Yes, sir, we're okay right now. We can juggle it around and make it work.
So when they bid that, is there a clause in that that allows them for?
Well, it's just usually 90 days, and after that 90 days, and everything's so late getting in, we still have our Pro Patch and Pro Patch truck that hadn't came in too. We got the machine, but just not the truck to mount it to.
Will they mount it, or do we have to?
They will.
They'll
Yes,
come up
sir.
in, so have they delivered the?
No, they still have it
They've
at their
got the
place.
machine, okay,
Yeah.
waiting on the truck.
Waiting on the truck. So that's where we are there. And on 5 Notch Road and Old Town Road, both crews are starting to mobilize and move equipment in to get started. Have Reynolds and Kay on 5 Notch Road North and Rayford Truck on Old Town Road. So I imagine after this rainy weather gets through, they'll probably start next week, which will be May the 1st.
Super.
And other than that, we're doing routine, still cleaning up after the storms. There's still plenty of trees we're picking up, washouts we're fixing, patching, overlaying. And that's all I got on
Let me ask you a question, a lot of those trees that were blown down, that y'all cut up and pushed down, out of the road for the time being we're going back. I've had several people ask me about cutting those hardwoods, on the side. Do we have a problem with them cutting them as long as
no.
they stay on county right of way?
They can have all they want.
Okay.
It's all right.
Well, you want me to just have them call you?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Very good. On to item number 1, that's consideration and approval of personnel changes for Harrison County Road and Bridge Department.
There's been no changes since our last Commissioners Court meeting.
Easy enough. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 2 is consideration and approval of the utility application submitted to Harrison County Road and Bridge Department as follows. E-Tex Telephone Co-op, Tom Smith Road, County Road 4124. E-Tex Telephone Co-op, McPhail Road, County Road 4121. E-Tex Telephone Co-op on Hescalone Road, which is County Road 4709. E-Tex Telephone Co-op on Wilson Road, County Road 4708. E-Tex Telephone Co-op on Old West Highway 154, County Road 4140. E-Tex Telephone Co-op on Chambers Road, which is County Road 4345. Now to East Tex Telephone Co-op on Oak Drive, County Road 1216. East Tex Telephone Co-op, Wildwood Drive, County Road 1215, and East Tex Telephone Co-op on Hayes Road, which is County Road 1234.
Yes, sir, both of these companies are requesting permission to run fiber optics in our right-of-way, and all the applications have been reviewed and they meet our standard specifications.
Very good. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebarb, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 3 is consideration and action to accept a donation of approximately 400 guardrail posts from Longview Asphalt Scottsville Yard to be used by Road and Bridge Department as needed for road maintenance.
Yes, sir, this is Longview Asphalt would like to donate about 400 guardrails and posts to the Harrison County Road and Bridge Department, and we'll be responsible for going and picking them up, but they're right there off Aikens Road, off of Highway 80 East. And of course, we'll use all these in our off-road. This comes from the off-road bridge system inventory. You know, when they go out and inspect our bridges and stuff, they usually give us a detailed list of the ones that we need to upgrade and guardrails that need to be replaced and stuff like that. So it's very helpful to us. We don't have to go out and buy it, you know.
Well, these already taken up?
Yes, sir, they are. They're in a stockpile over there. Longview Asphalt has a stockpile right there by the railroad track on Aikens Road off of Highway 80 East, and they're all out there. So we'll just go and pick them up, and we'll probably bring them out to our number 1 pit and pick them up as we need them for repairs on our guardrails.
You know, Mr. Davis, a few years back, TechStock, we got quite a lot of guardrails that were gifted to us from TechStock. We should have some of those left. Do we
Oh,
still-
yeah, we still got a pretty
Yeah.
good bit of them.
I'll get with you after the meeting, or probably this afternoon. I'll have to look and find my list, but I had made a little list there of some concerns I had in my precinct where it was kind of a little drop-off or a creek or something was there. And I'll go over that list with you, and we'll see if we can't get some of it done.
Definitely.
That's great, though, because the state give us the rails, and Mr. Madden and them donated the post, so let's make it happen.
We definitely will.
Thank you, sir.
Is there a motion to approve accepting this donation?
So moved.
Commissioner Hatfield made the motion, Commissioner Timmons second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0.
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
That brings us down to purchasing.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning. Item number 1 is consideration and action regarding the approval of bid 2023-01, a contract agreement between Harrison County and Reynolds and K LLC.
These agreements that you see, Reynolds and Kate, they are sending their originals by mail. So, and Bed McCracken's is the original. These are just to say, you know, they will do the work and we will pay them.
Very good. And these were the bids that were already approved
Correct.
for the road reconstruction.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there basically, we're just bringing these back into court to formally accept the bid?
Yeah, yes.
All right. And have them documented in our minutes.
Yes,
Is there a
sir.
motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 2 is consideration and action regarding the approval of bid 2023-02, a contract agreement between Harrison County and Rayford's Truck and Tractor.
And this one is the same?
Yes, sir. 1 through 6 are all the same.
Yep.
Okay, motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 3 is consideration and action regarding the approval of bid 2023-03, contract agreement between Harrison County and Rayford's Truck and Tractor.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebar. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 4 is consideration and action regarding the approval of bid 2023-04, contract agreement between Harrison County and Reynolds and K LLC.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebarb. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 4-0. Item number 5 is consideration and action regarding the approval of bid 2023-05, contract agreement between Harrison County and Rayford's Truck and Tractor.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebarb, second by Commissioner Timmons. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 6, consideration and action regarding the approval of bid 2023-06, contract agreement between Harrison County and Rayford's Truck and Tractor.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebarb, second by Commissioner Timmons. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 4-0. Item number 7 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the award and contract agreement for bid 2023-08, Seal Coat 2023, with letter of recommendation from the purchasing agent of said award.
I make a motion that we pass on, or reject both these bids.
We have a motion to reject both bids. Is there a second?
Second.
So motion by Commissioner Ebarb, second by Commissioner Timmons to reject both bids. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. The motion to reject both bids passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up from our treasurer, item number 1 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the treasurer's monthly report for March 2023 and authorization to publish on the county website pursuant to local government code, section 114.026. Good morning, Ms. Rushing.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
For the month of March, our beginning balance was $11,342,138.04. Receipts, $12,845,190.46. Disbursements, $13,317,067.55. Ending $10,870,260.95, with our cash plus our investments being $32,735,373.82. Ending balance for March was $43,605,634.77 for March.
Is there a motion to approve our treasurer's monthly report for March 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item number 2 is consideration and approval of the Harrison County Treasurer's investment report for March 2023.
In Texas class, beginning balance for March was $1,076,378.27. Interest rate 4.8597. Interest earned $4,451.17. Ending balance in Texas class was $1,080,829.44. In Ameriprise, we have invested $3,660,544.38. In Texas Bank and Trust Wealth Management, we have invested $27,994,000. Total investment being $32,735,373.82. In Texas Bank and Trust Money Market, the beginning balance was $10,400,169.82. We deposited $4,008,031.63, withdrew $5 million. Interest rate in the money market is 3.98. Interest earned for the month was $38,797.50, with the ending balance of $9,446,998.95. Texas Bank and Trust main account, interest earned in that account, the interest in that account is, interest rate is 1.01. Interest earned was $3,678.45, and ending balance $2,694,811.08. Our total monthly interest earned for the month of March was $46,927.12, and interest earned year-to-date, fiscal year-to-date is $296,496.78.
Is there a motion to approve our treasurer's investment report for March 2023?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to say how much we appreciate what y'all do, the investment committee. Y'all approached $300,000 in interest for the first half of the year. So, I think as all of us as taxpayers, we can't speak highly enough how much we appreciate y'all staying on top of it and earning money from heaven, basically. So,
Thank you.
It's nice for y'all to do this for all the taxpayers in the county.
Me too.
Appreciate that. We're trying to time it out and invest it as long as we can and earn the most that we can, as realizing what we may need and when we need to withdraw it as well. So
Well, we appreciate y'all.
You've got a small staff, but they're outstanding.
well, on the investment committee, that would be Judge Sims and Becky and myself.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
they're a lot of help.
That's right. Get a lot done.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
On to elections. Item number 1 is consideration and approval of the May contracts for election services for Marshall ISD, Wascom ISD, the joint election agreement between Marshall ISD and Wascom ISD, and the City of Uncertain. Morning, Mr. Robinette.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. We started the first of the year with about 7 people that were thinking about doing elections. We ended up with these 3. The city and school elections are pretty much permitted to kind of do their own thing according to the election code. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over a cold. The cities and schools, by the election code, if there's no county, state, or federal involved, they can kind of do their own elections, but they do contract with us, and we're glad that we do. We try to keep the costs down to such an extent that they are willing to contract with us. But as you see in looking at these contracts, they're primarily between the EA and the entities, but we like to keep the court informed of what we're doing. Now, on each of these that ended up holding elections, you can see they're very different costs. And so what I did in trying to estimate to the best of our ability what we think the actual costs will be, MISD requested all day Saturday, 7 to 7, and also Monday and Tuesday, all day 7 to 7. They also requested 2 extra days at the high school. And so those are reflected in some of that cost. We guesstimate how many ballot by mails we may have. I think so far between all 3 elections, There's not even been 50 this time around, so that's pretty overestimating. But to the extent that we can, Wascom and Marshall, even though they're completely separate entities, their territories do not overlap in any kind of way, but I did ask them to go ahead and jointly share any costs that we can share. And so as you can see, the highest, excuse me, for the Wascom ID is a different cost than what we had for the Marshall ISD if they were to have to do everything solely. And then the city, the Wascom ISD did not want to have any long days on a Saturday or a Monday or Tuesday, so all theirs was based off just 8 to 5. And then the election day. And then the city of Uncertain, they have, I believe, 106 voters. And they opted for everybody that wanted to vote early just to come to the election office, since they have to come to town anyway. And then they will be open at their city hall on election day. And so they'll probably have 25 voters at the most probably show up out of that. We do have an additional election that we did not have to contract for. We just handed our voters over to Upshur County. In Upshur, the Ore City ISD overlaps 3 counties, Harrison, Marion, and Upshur. And so Harrison and Marion opted to send our voters there to Upshur, and they're doing all of that work there. And as a courtesy, I believe we had about 26 voters in that northwest corner of the county. I just went ahead and sent them all a letter to all the current addresses that we had. And I said, hey, this election's going on. And I think only 2 of those came back. So we had current addresses. Somebody must have moved and didn't tell us. So they should be aware of that. Posted a notice also in Harleton in case anybody happened by the polling place out there. And so do you have any questions on how we've done things or any other regard there? All righty, well, thank you, gentlemen. Okay.
Yep, all looks good to me too. Thank you,
All
Don.
righty, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number, this is new business. Number 1, consideration and approval of the 2022 through 2023 annual contracts to include the American Red Cross, the Boys and Girls Club of Big Pines, the Martin House Children's Advocacy Center, East Texas Open Door, Harrison County CASA, Longview Public Library, East Texas Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, Harrison County Emergency Services District Number 3, ESD Number 3, 2022 through 2023 interlocal agreement, Cypress Valley Navigation District, Marshall Depot, Inc., the Literacy Council, Soil and Water Conservation District, the Historical Society Children's Services Board, the Women's Center of East Texas, and authorization of payment of budgeted amount in the fiscal year 2022 through 2023 budget for each contract and authorization for the county judge to execute said contracts. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Timmons. And this, you know, these, you guys remember all of these from our budget process, and we do contract with each one of these individual organizations, and it just makes it a little easier for us to do it all at one time than to piecemeal it out. So that's what's going on here today. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 2 is consideration and action to approve the termination of the Marshall District Office lease for Congressman Nathaniel Moran at 102 West Houston Street, Marshall, Texas, 75670, to be effective May the 4th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Ebarb. You guys know that we recently had leased a little space over here in our annex to the congressman, and they were fine and happy to get it until Synergy Park built some nice new office space, and they have decided to move over next door. So they requested to get out of their lease, and we didn't really want to hold the congressman's feet to the fire, so we'll, if you guys agree, we'll let him out of it. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments?
We'll hit him up for something else later.
There you go. We'll remember this, won't we?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 3 is consideration and action subject to ratification in open court, the approval of the contract with Marathon Engineering Corp. For the jail annex violent cell repair. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Number 4 is consideration and action subject to ratification in open court, the approval of the change order number 1 to bid number 2023 seal coat project. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 5 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the Harrison County Airport ground lease, tenant constructed hangar number 10 between Harrison County and Central Jet Service LLC, commencing on January 1, 2023 and ending December 31, 2057, and along with the aircraft registrations.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions, comments? You guys may know that hangar number 10 is the largest old county-owned hangar out there, and Danny Aiello of Central Jet Service would like to tear that down, rebuild it along with this ground lease, and have a new hangar there on the airport. That'll be part of his FBO operations. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 6, consideration and action regarding the approval of the corrected advanced funding agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for 8 Mile Creek, as the page numbers were incorrect on the previous AFA advanced funding agreement. Pretty simple correction here. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes 4-0. Item number 7 is consideration and action regarding the presentation by Austin Davidson, our FNP-C and B&D Healthcare Solutions, PLLC, for the approval of the B&D Healthcare Solutions, PLLC/WPA employment agreement regarding the Harrison County employees' healthcare benefits. You guys ready to make a presentation to the court?
This same thing is a little different.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Before you get started, I'd like to make a few comments. Find my information here. Just so everybody knows kind of what this discussion is about. B&D Healthcare Solutions are located right down here on Alamo, just before you get to the Catholic Church. This has no impact, zero impact on our current healthcare program. Nothing will change. We've got, the county is self-funded. We have self-funded health plan through GPA. None of that changes. This is an additional benefit that the county is willing or considering paying at no expense to the employee. think of any way to make that any clearer. Now, you guys, y'all go ahead and tell us what you have to offer the county.
Okay, so basically what B&D Healthcare Solutions is a concierge practice, meaning that we don't deal with insurance. So when y'all come to see us, we've got with the judge and Commissioner Ebar had a meeting, and so we've tried to limit every possible barrier for y'all to come see us. So $0 copay, meaning y'all walk through the door, you owe nothing. You leave, still owe nothing. We don't bill your insurance doesn't really care that we exist, and we don't have anything to do with them. When you come in, we're family health. Some people have their own primary care providers. You can keep them. This is an adjunct basically to your health systems or health coverage. 6 visits, monitoring your blood pressure medications, diabetes, chronic illness. It is family health. It's just an easier way to do it. We're a set cost. It's a one-time fee, and we never bill you again. The questions, I think there were some questions that was asked. The only problem that would need a solution is specialty labs. Specialty labs are cantankerous. Labs have to draw their own labs. They're super expensive. We can't handle them on site. Everything else we handle. We draw our own labs, still $0. Sick visits, we see children kind of put in there 5 years and older, mainly because pediatrician really needs to monitor growth for well child checks, vaccinations. We don't see enough children to hold those vaccinations. Some of those vaccinations are really expensive and they have a short shelf life. Sick visits, school physicals, sports physicals, all that's covered. Still at $0. So the employees of the county come in, they can schedule same-day appointments. They can, once you're established in our system, new patient paperwork, first visit, if it's Saturday and you've got cold, you can call. We're here. You don't have to be seen. If you're in the office, you've got a meeting in 20 minutes, you can call us over there. If you're established, we can get you sent something in locally to a pharmacy. It's pretty easy. We do 30-minute appointments. We don't schedule 15-minute appointments like the insurance taking providers do. We leave 30 minutes mainly so we can move walk-ins. It's fairly simple. Healthcare is not hard.
You guys are both nurse practitioners,
Sure.
so we would be seeing you, and you have another staff member, a lady in your
We
office
do.
as well.
Tish is a women's health, family health practitioner. So she does a lot of our women's health, the gynecological portion of it, which is nice,
Very good.
which is all still covered for free.
So, and just to be clear, this is for what we're considering is for our employees who are currently, that'll be for all employees, and their dependents.
Correct.
That's what we discussed, is not just our employees only, but also covering our dependents at no cost to our employees. The county will bear that expense. Some questions I had for you guys, and these are generic, but how much would it cost if I came in for a sinus infection?
$0.
Or if I had a fever?
$0.
My kids need their physicals, you already talked about that.
Still $0.
$0. What if I needed to renew a blood pressure prescription?
Still $0.
Routine blood work, the labs?
As long, and in that packet that we handed out, there's a list of labs that are covered.
So as long as it's not a specialty lab. So some common ones that people get are
I'll throw
PSA.
Covered. So PSA's covered, testosterone, CBC, CMP, TSH, T3, T4, lipid, what else am I missing? PTINR, It's not very
So just the general, normal, run-of-the-mill, the labs that most people, and so if I needed a specialty blood work, I could just still go back to my regular doctor,
Well, that's up to you. We could still draw it.
so you could draw it and then I would just have to pay for it or run it through my insurance
So-
at the lab that I would, well,
Yes, so we take insurance, we just don't like insurance. So we're credentialed through insurance. So theoretically, we can draw it there, unless it's a specialty lab.
Some of them have a time frame that
Right.
have to be run.
We had a gentleman yesterday that needed a quantiferin gold. It's 4 different tubes, specialty, all of them had to be treated different, so he went to CPL. Now, the other labs that he needed were all just generic labs that we cover. So everything was covered, he paid us $45 and he still went and got. So the other 15 labs that he had were free, he just had to pay for that one. If he'd had insurance, theoretically, we could have just billed that one through insurance, if that's what they chose to do. It's up to them how they want to do it.
so typically, I have to go every year to get a checkup and labs done, and it costs me $30 to walk into my doctor, and then I get a bill for my lab work, usually about $130. And it's just one of those standard
General
things.
lipid.
So it's gonna be zero.
It'll be zero for.
If I come to y'all.
It'll be 0 for your visit, 0 for your labs, and 0 billed to you.
Our health insurance.
Yep. I think
Yeah,
that's
oh, yeah.
fantastic. You
Yeah,
mentioned that you don't do kids' vaccines just because you don't have enough of them. And you already mentioned I don't have to quit using my primary care physician.
No.
No
So
need.
if your primary care, you love your primary care, stay with your primary care. We're always here. If you get tired of them, can't get in. If you get sick, you call them, and it's going to be a week before they can get you in. It's going to be tomorrow afternoon. You want to be seen today, call us. You can come see us, get established. Once you're established, it makes it real easy. You can just call us. And then when you follow up with them to do blood pressure check, A1C, diabetes, manage whatever it is that they already know you for, and you want to keep them, keep them.
Can you offer basically all the services that my primary care physician would?
Yes. We
So
don't have, X-rays, like some of the standalone ERs. We don't have X-ray. We'd have to send out for some radiology and some of the
Sure.
stuff. But as far as we're a clinic. We're
Very
a
good.
family health clinic.
And you mentioned that I don't have to have an appointment. You try to budget your time so that you can accommodate walk-ins.
Correct.
Or over the phone, if I'm an established patient, I can call you, tell you what's going on, and you can call in a prescription.
Yes.
That's great. You guys have any other questions? So in your paperwork, you're offering to charge for employees $30 a month per person?
Correct.
And 20 per
Dependent.
dependent.
Yes.
And if we paid a year, 12 months, you would knock off 2 months of that, is that right?
That's right. So 10 months.
So we'd get 10, we'd pay for 10 and get 12.
That's correct.
Is that per dependent?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have
Clear on that.
4 kids, it's 4
times.
times 20, that's right. Well, I think that using this service, if most of our employees will use it, I think it'd be a great benefit to them. It's an easy, very close place to go, appointment or not, they can get treated quickly, which is nice, and it seems like many of our healthcare places are getting busier and busier, and it's harder and harder for us to get in, so I like the idea of us having an agreement with you guys that you're willing to see us as quickly as possible, or even over the phone, which is even better. So it's a great benefit for our employees and their dependents. And also, a secondary thing that I think is a big benefit for us, the county, is to reduce our healthcare costs. If we're going to primary care physician or the ER, those folks are hitting our insurance pretty hard, and since we're self-funded, that's sending us a big bill. The more of our folks that can use you guys, the more dollars it'll save on our self-funded healthcare plan. So I think that's another large benefit to the county for saving money. I would hope and expect that we'd not only save enough to cover the fees we're paying y'all, but also still a significant amount more off of our self-funded health plan.
Sick visits and labs are gonna save you a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, what about, what if I needed some stitches? My kid falls, cuts himself.
You do sutures, you do everything that you would normally do at it's family practice. So sutures, we freeze cryo
injection.
lesions, and, yeah, knee injections,
You can freeze what now?
warts, lesions, skin lesions, warts, moles.
Wow, so I've been to the
Dermatologists are
dermatologist,
expensive.
and you always get a big bill from them.
Send
I mean,
everybody to us to freeze something off one time and you'll pay for it quick.
no doubt about that's terrific. You guys have any other questions?
Not questions, but a comment. It'd be good to be able to go somewhere, you have an appointment at 9 a.m. and don't get to see them until 11:45.
We had this conversation the other day. I didn't realize how that happened until I started working as a nurse practitioner. And when you take insurance, you have 2 8 o'clocks, 2 8:15s, an 8:30, 2 9:45s, and a 10. Now, you're one person, and it's a 15-minute appointment. So you start, nobody opens the door till 8. So when they open the door, you're 15 minutes behind. You see your first patient, you're 30 minutes behind. So they're seeing that at first 8 o'clock at 8:15, 8:30. That's how an 8 o'clock appointment, who should be the first appointment, you're actually the second appointment at 8 o'clock.
Right.
But we don't take the first appointment till, our first appointment is actually 8:30. And that leaves that emergent person to come in. You know, like it's 8 o'clock, first thing in the morning, it's when someone's gonna call, I need to be seen. What do you got? If it's a phone visit, we can take care of it. Same thing after lunch. You usually don't schedule the first scheduled appointment till 1:30. And that leaves the people at lunchtime, when we come in, phone will be ringing and we can get them taken care of, get them seen before there's somebody else that's being, I've been sitting here for an hour, how does I the first patient? And the 30-minute appointments really does, we don't double book. Technically we do, but not in that sense. We don't double book on a schedule, but if you come in, someone needs to be seen at 1:30 and we already have a 1:30, we've already got a cushion. In the insurance game, there's 4 patients at least in that hour. In our game, there's only 2. So it's not even double booking when we're double booked, because we
Right.
still have the time to see 4.
I guess the only other question, Ms. Haynes, no issue with us paying for this out of our current healthcare budget? Very good.
Well, I got one question, since we're on a fiscal year and don't start January. I mean, is there any reason that if we're gonna do this, and then when it comes time, or the end of this budget year, and we start a new cycle, I would think we'd wanna pay up front and get the extra 2 months cushion back. So would we pay October 1, or would we pay January? I mean, does it affect y'all when our year starts?
I would suggest we pay May 1
And go
here,
ahead
here
and
next week, and we get it started.
get it started? But
If you
what I'm
guys-
saying, at the end of this budget, at the end of
Doesn't matter.
September, we'll start a new budget October 1. So do we
We'll just
pay-
include
In our
their,
budget?
in our budget, them in our budget.
Okay.
It won't matter. Is that right, Ms. Haynes?
Okay.
So we can start May 1 without any issue.
Okay.
And pay 10 months. For 12.
Oh, okay. So it was just run May to May when we pay them the yearly, whatever. Okay, I didn't know.
Does that work for you guys?
We're very easy. We have people that start, and whenever it started, we just had one start last month, so,
No big deal.
yeah.
Good question. Any other questions? You guys have, yes, ma'am. Broken arm.
So that was the radiology portion of it. For a visit, it would cost you nothing. So let's say, I'm assuming it would be a man that would fall off of something. Somebody falls off, you're concerned it's broken, $0 to come see us. If we need to get an x-ray, we can send you to an x-ray. Now, after that, everybody's still gonna need to see an orthopedic. So, the exam for us is still $0. Now, what happens after that, I don't think there's any way around getting insurance involved in that.
Sure.
But the exam would be, yeah, you probably need to go get an x-ray. But you don't have to get the x-ray at somewhere that's gonna charge you $2,000 for an x-ray. Right? We can send you to the hospital, we can send, what is it?
Open imaging.
Open Imaging in Longview is great. as
Cash
far as
price
pricing.
for-
They have, there's still options outside of, we're not giant fans of hospitality. They charge a lot. $20,000 for an ear infection is a lot of money.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Did I hear you said that we're limited to a number of visits per year?
Nope.
No limits.
And another question was, if our dependents or spouse is not on our insurance, are they covered? Was that, or do they have to be on our insurance?
I think they have to be on our insurance is the general thought. So if you're currently, if you're an employee covered under our current health plan and you have dependents or spouse, they would be on this as well. If they're not on this, we wouldn't be adding them to this plan.
Well, let me ask this question, since if we've got like, if I wanted, I'm on insurance, and I'd be covered under the county deal to see them. If I wanted, my wife's not on it, but I want to say, hey, I'd like to include her, could I then in turn pay the $20 a month and pay the county and her be added to it and just pay the $240 a year? Or
I
is
don't
that-
think so. I think that's getting into a little bit.
Okay.
I think it's much more clean.
Oh, I
We're
agree,
not
but
trying
I
to
just-
manage well, this one wants it,
Well, I understand, I just want to make sure, I mean, so up front, we know
Sure.
going in that if you're currently a dependent on our plan, then we're gonna cover your
That's right.
children under what we are now.
If
just
you're
like
covered under our health plan,
But if you're just an employee and you're the only one covered, then you will be the only one
Yep.
covered under this plan would be a D.
and this is not for retirees. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Our insurance is from January to December. We have new re-enrollment in January. For people who are added or removed in January, how do we account for that?
So I think we probably do that on a monthly basis.
Right.
Whenever someone gets, if I start work today and I have to wait 90 days to get on the insurance, in 90 days, they'll get a note that says, hey, Chad's been added. And so then the only issue we're gonna have to come up with is a base number. So we have 310 employees. Let me guess that 280 of them are on our health insurance, so we'd probably pay you up front for 280.
Right.
One quits, we're at 279, we hire them back, we're back to 280. We have some open positions that we might get up to 300 employees if we filled all those open spots. Well, we would, at that point, I think we would just pay you for those extra positions, because we've not paid for them.
So we could do monthly. Monthly's kind of it's a lot.
I'd say
Quarterly.
quarterly.
Quarterly you
would
prefer?
be, that would be your 90 days anyway,
Yeah.
or roughly. I mean, and it's not insurance, right? I mean, so it'd be $30. So quarterly, we need